After many relationships, I've realized more and more that I'm incompatible with anyone. And it's difficult to be with someone in every relationship. I've had an intense desire for sannyas for a long time, and having a family never allured me. What are your thoughts? It's really important when we make decisions in life to move toward things rather than away from them. Now, obviously, sometimes there are situations that have to be moved away from: a burning building, collapsing situation, a hazardous environment. But when we think about a decision like taking sannyas, it should be something that we are moving toward, not because we don't find ourselves compatible with someone, not because we find difficulty in relationships, but because there's actually an active, exciting pull, a draw, like a draw of the drop to the ocean, like the pull of gravity, a pull that feels very natural, very right, very much exactly as it should be, a pull toward something. We don't take sannyas because we are fed up with the world, or we're tired or annoyed, or we don't like our relationships, or we were never very good at relationships anyway, or we are tired of, trying to make a living, or we weren't very good at making a living anyway. It's not that. It's not I'm not good at that outer world, therefore I should take sannyas. Sannyas is a calling, a dharmic calling of something within that says, my life, my dharma, my duty, my purpose, my meaning is going to be one in the most unencumbered, straight path to service and surrender. Because in a family, there's a lot of other pulls. There's a lot of other commitments. There's a lot of other attachments. And so in a family, sometimes it's difficult to decide, for example, do I sit for my morning meditation? Or do I make sure that my kids have had breakfast, or that my spouse has had breakfast, or my parents or parents-in-law have had breakfast? There's a lot of other pulls. And so the path of sannyas is a path of a clear, I don't want any other pulls, any other calling, any other distractions. As it is, the mind is a distraction enough. The ego is a distraction enough. My own ignorance, my own illusion is a distraction enough. My history is a distraction enough. All of it is distracting enough. I don't want to have more to distract me from my true path. I don't want to get pulled by a calling that says I should have this position in a company, or I should be making this much money, or I should build a bigger house than the people next door, or have a nicer car than the guys across the street. But a path in which I want to be able to dedicate every minute and every moment to surrender and to seva. It's the same thing, but different reflections of it. But it's not a path that gets chosen because we are not succeeding in a family life or in a business. It's not the worst case scenario of, well, didn't do the family thing so well, didn't do the career thing so well, I guess I'll take sannyas. In that case, what I would say is figure out what it is within you that isn't enabling you to actually have meaningful relationships. What is it in you that is stuck, that's keeping you from opening to someone, that's keeping you from trusting someone, that's keeping you from connecting with someone? Check that. Because sannyas is a path of freedom. And we can only choose the path if all other options are available to us. It's not a path of duress. And so make sure that all other paths are open to you, and then choose sannyas. Now maybe it's possible that your heart knows, that your internal self knows, that you're supposed to be a sannyasi. And therefore maybe the mind, maybe the culture, maybe some vestigial desires or vestigial karmic drama keeps throwing you into relationships, but that internal pull, that internal dharma towards sannyas makes them not work out. That's also possible. And in that case, it's a matter of recognizing, all right, I understand where I'm supposed to go. It's like for me when I first came to this ashram, and after I first had Puja Swamiji's darshan, now I knew. I had been sitting on the banks of Ganga for a week in ecstasy. I knew this was where I was meant to be. But the mind still plays games. And as I walked out of the ashram, thinking still that I was going to go off to the mountains for a while and then maybe come back, my feet were glued to the ground. Literally. Couldn't pick them up off the ground. It's a long story, actually a very fun story. But it's a story of, in short, literally, the calling of Dharma over both mind and matter. Physical matter, the body, there was no reason it shouldn't be able to walk. First, of course, I thought I had contracted some kind of disease, tetanus, polio, something. Stepped in crazy glue, stepped in quicksand. Then, of course, I thought it was something in my brain. The matter of the body was fine. The mind, brain was fine. But it was the call of Dharma that was stronger than both. That literally wouldn't let me walk out of the ashram. And so you may find when that call is strong enough that even if you try to be in relationship, try to live that life, that something in you just won't let it happen. And in that case, maybe the path of sannyas is absolutely the right path. But just make sure that you're moving toward it rather than something that you resign to in frustration because nothing else works. It should be a path you embrace with a full open heart, with full freedom, knowing that all other possibilities are available to you. but that this one holds the highest, deepest, fullest potential for your unfolding, for your awakening, for your enlightenment, for your freedom.